Hi everyone, Market Video Analytics. We're back on behalf of Liteforex broker. I'm Ray Kuzing with our weekly top trading opportunity. This time my focus is on the crude oil. I find the technical picture really fascinating. I mean, aside from the fact that we have a bit of a conflict between the short-term perspective and the long-term perspective, the long-term perspective is very solid, strong. In terms of bearish conviction. So I'm going to take you to the chart and show you exactly what I think is going to happen and what I did just recently. So let's go ahead and take a look. So you're looking at the daily chart. This is the crude oil, and what's obvious, what's come to jump into your eyes is obviously this really wide kind of trading range that it started to develop roughly around the beginning of 2018. First, we had that downside leg, followed by the second upside leg, and the third leg, which landed exactly on the 200 daily moving average here, changed direction and basically started to generate the fourth leg, right? Now, the fourth leg, what I think it did here was what we call overshooting. It stretched all the way to the very top key level, and I'm talking about this black system, right? These black four lines, and mostly talking about here the top key level, which is 75.08. You can see the price tag, right? So price was seemingly breaking through that level, right? At first I thought it was going to break. It looked like a genuine breakout at first, and then price came back and established itself below that level. When that happened, I quickly went to the weekly chart to check out whether this was just an excess noise that is typical for the daily chart. And this is what I found out. Take a look. Let me close in a little bit. This is the setup, right? This is the key level I was talking about. This is the main point of reference, by the way. A very significant resistance, 75.08, and you can see how price reacted to that level on the weekly close, right? Just to remind you, close has a lot of significance, right? This is where the equilibrium lays at, right? With the weekly close, it basically determines the balance of power between the buyers and the sellers. And here you can see how price pulled back. I mean, at some point it traded well above that level, but it came back all the way as the week progressed, and it closed just below that level. And this is usually a very significant indication for, in this case, a full-fledged downside reversal, because we already have four legs in place, and this particular fourth leg that was just, I think, was ending the move also took the previous highs. So it both took the previous highs, touched base on the top key level, pulled back, left just that spike here, closed below, and at this point it's more likely that we will see price begin to move south, right? Basically begins to generate the next downside leg. As I see it, could easily push all the way to the lower section again. Right, the same lower section price began the previous upside moves. So with this in mind, we should focus on this particular level, 65.61, as last kind of final destination. Right, we're talking here kind of medium to long-term perspective. This is a weekly chart. This is a weekly setup. Every single leg within this formation can represent the medium trend, right? The medium to long-term trend. A few weeks up to a few months. So we got a pretty healthy, potentially speaking, pretty healthy move on the downside. That's what we see here from the long-term perspective yet again. But from the short-term perspective, we see a different picture, and it's really interesting. Let me take you here to the daily chart, where I identified a lowercase trading range that was starting to develop. Now, this trading range is actually actually belongs more to the 4-hour chart. That's where it stems from. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. It's just the 4-hour chart is a very wild type of chart, very noisy, And usually what you want to do is you want to filter out noises coming from the 4-hour chart. You want to filter them out with the daily close. And here you can see the very smaller scale trading range that I was talking about. You can see the first leg going down, second up, third all the way down, right? Actually getting out of the setup, right? Take a look. I mean, both the second leg on the upside and the third leg on the downside both got out of the limit, right? The outer key levels. But if you take it to the daily chart, check this one out. You get a spike right here and a spike right there, which is already marked by this bluish circle, right? And it's quite impressive because price was trading so well below that bottom key level, right? 73.82. But you know, coming to the end of the day, it just pulled back, bounced back, and left that spike here. And it did that after it did the same on the upside. So as you can see, these 4 levels, I'm talking about the local system here, this blue system, is very much valid, right? Very much intact and could guideline the next few days. So what I actually see here is an opportunity on the upside for the day traders, for the short-term traders. As long as price can break above, and this is very important, 74.57. Right now, that's the main test, right? Right now, that's the main local resistance. And you can actually see how price is battling against that level as we speak. I actually do believe it could break that level. It could probably generate another leg. It actually does miss a 4th leg. And then the 5th leg should be the one to completely break out of the local system here, basically break free. Just start to build up the next downside trend. Right now, we're still in the reversal process. It's more of a topping out, right? Where price moves from a trend into a consolidation phase. It's what we call the trading range. It builds up a few ups and downs legs, and then it breaks the setup and basically begin the actual reversal, right? The actual downside trend. So in this case, for price to actually break that bottom key level. So this bottom key level, as far as I'm concerned, is 73.82. That's my main trigger level. Now, I have started actually to establish a short position. I started yesterday, actually 2 days ago. Very, very small. I started with the first portion, 10% of my usual position size. And my intentions are to increase the position. Now, there are a few conditions that will allow me to do that, to allow me to increase the position. The first one would be price makes it all the way to the other side here on that setup, on that local setup. So once price reaches 75.42, which I suspect it will, right, just reaching the upper section here, I will try to look to add another portion, another short position, another short trade here, right? Increase the position. On the other hand, if it fails to break through the 74.57 here, it would begin to come off again. And then I would try to wait for a daily close below 73.82. Once we get that, I will re-increase the position again, right? I'll try to increase the position because once we get past that 73.82 floor here, which you can see how strong it was, right? How significant it is. I actually see no obstacles. So the path should be quite clear for a move all the way to 70.61, which is pretty nice move, right? Pretty considerable move. That's going to be my secondary target, right? 70.61 is my secondary target. My main target, as I've mentioned before, is 65.61. But for those of you who trade short term, price is more likely to push forward a little bit, probably about a point to a point and a half. The last line of defense would be here 76.17, as it was before. That's the last kind of local resistance. I don't suspect price will break that level on the upside. But if it does, obviously if it does, that's not going to be a good sign for our bearish conviction, and I will have to pull out quickly and probably look for opportunities somewhere else, right? So for now, short-term perspective, bullish outlook. Long-term perspective, strong bearish outlook. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this one is going to unfold. I'm ready with my finger on the trigger to hit and increase my bearish position, which was just recently established with a very small trade, initial trade. So yeah, there you go. Crude oil. I hope you enjoyed the session. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Have a great trading day. Take care. Bye bye.